Happy Sunday to you. It's sometime in August. I think it's the 24th. Uh, we're going to do a really smart video. I'm wearing smart glasses. These are the Oakley Meta smart glasses. There are not very many of them. You can pre-order them. I think it's like 500 bucks. That's what I paid. Worth it. Just going to say worth it. I mean, you tell it to do stuff. I'm not going to say it in this video because we're doing other things in this video, AI related, but I'm wearing them because I kind of want to get known for them because I've always worn Oakleys for 20 some years. I always wore Oakleys, and now they have a really cool smart glass that works incredibly well. So we'll talk about that in another video, but I want to do payroll this video because I have dozens and dozens of clients every year that renew and update a small business payroll application that I have built in Microsoft Excel. And I've made it easier to update by using AI last year, but now AI is even whoa better than it was last year. And so now there's a lot more we can do with it. And I felt like this would be a great chance to kind of show how we can use this file with just voice AI right now and some other things that we can do going forward. And for those of you who have never seen the payroll file or the small business application here, this will be a really interesting way to go through it because I always do a tutorial myself and I'm boring and, mathematical and all weird and stuff. But the AI kind of turns me a bit more humanistic because we have to have an interaction. So it's fun. It's fun, and I learn something as we do this every time. It's great. AI is incredible. Just you need to get on that AI train now while the rest of the world is scared of it and doesn't want to adopt it or whatever. Like you need to get into it because it makes you smarter as well as it just amplifies what you want. I'm saying this is going to be the dreams come true revolution where if you can think it and you can write it or express it, there's a lot of digital things happening autonomously after that to make your dreams become reality when you use AI. So this is the dream revolution. Now let's start. Hey, Chat GPT. GPT-4, by the way. I have built a payroll file for small businesses in Microsoft Excel like over 10, 15 years ago now. And I like to tell people how it works in videos. Can you help me do a video about that?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help you out with that. If you want to create a video showcasing how your classic Excel payroll file works, we can definitely break it down step by step. We can start by outlining what you want to show, like the main features of the file, maybe a few example calculations, or a before and after comparison of how it makes payroll easier. And then we can talk about the tone of the video, whether you want it to be more instructional, a bit nostalgic, or maybe even a mix of both. Just let me know the style you're going for.
I'm pretty confident that it's very easy to use once you set it up. But what I'm confused about is people that actually pay other businesses to do their payroll for them. Like, why would you do that when it's so easy? Why do people do that?
Yeah, that's a really common question, and it's a great point to bring up in your video because a lot of folks wonder the same thing. Even if something's straightforward once it's set up, a lot of small business owners just feel more comfortable outsourcing because they're worried about making a mistake with taxes, withholdings, or just the legal side of payroll. It's kind of like a peace of mind thing.
Great. Do you think you'll be able to help someone check their payroll numbers because you're so smart? So, like, they wouldn't have to worry about that as much anymore?
Absolutely. I'd be more than happy to help with that. I mean, that's definitely one of the things I'm here for. If someone wants to double check their payroll numbers, just get a bit of confidence that everything's adding up right, I can definitely walk them through it.
I'd
But
love
yeah, they wouldn't have.
I'd love to try an example because we haven't tested this out before. This is a great example to do in a live video. So let's try to simulate someone's paycheck.
Absolutely. Let's do a little live run through. I think that sounds like a lot of fun and definitely the kind of hands on demo people would enjoy seeing. So
I want
just
you
toss
to,
me an
yeah, I want you to make up the information about the employee because you should know everything that you need to calculate a correct paycheck. And I think I have it. So tell me what you think I need.
sure thing. Let's imagine a quick fictional employee scenario to keep it simple. For a basic paycheck calculation, you're usually going to want a few key pieces of info. Say we have an employee named Sarah who earns $25 an hour. She's working 40 hours a week, and we'll say she's single with maybe one federal allowance. We'll also assume a standard federal tax rate and maybe a state tax rate depending on
Slow
where she
down,
lives.
baby. You're moving too fast. What was
Oh, no.
what was her name? The employee's name?
Oh, sure. I just called her Sarah as a quick example, but you can definitely pick any name you like. Basically, we can
Does
just
she
imagine.
need a last name or have a last name?
Nope, we definitely don't need a last name. We can just keep it super casual with first names. So
But what about
Sarah
when
is
you file your W-2s at the end of the year? If you don't have a last name on your W-2, that's going to be a problem, don't you think?
absolutely. In real life, you definitely need a last name for all those official forms like W-2s. For our little demo scenario, we're just keeping it simple
I
and not
want a
worrying about
last
full.
name for our demo, please. Can you give me one?
Of course, let's just go ahead and call her Sarah Thompson for
Okay,
our
thank
example.
you. Jesus Christ. Sorry, that was so tough. All right. Anyway, what were the other pieces of information that we needed to do her paycheck?
Oh, no worries at all. Sometimes we just got to take it step by step. So now that Sarah Thompson has a full name, the other key bits are pretty straightforward. We just need her hourly wage, the number of hours she works, and then maybe a rough idea of her tax situation, like how many allowances or just a general tax rate.
Yeah,
And that's pretty much all.
what state is Sarah in?
Let's say Sarah's in California, just to pick a spot. California has its own state tax rules, so that'll add a little flavor to our example. And with that, we've got pretty much everything we need.
Is she married?
Let's say she's single just to keep things simple for our demo. That way
How
we
many
don't.
DE4 line 1A regular allowances does she have?
Oh, got it. Let's say Sarah claims one regular allowance on her DE4. That keeps it nice and simple. And now I think we've got the whole picture. Single, California, one
What
allowance,
about
and
additional allowances on worksheets B and C from the form DE4? What about those allowances? How many does she have of those?
yeah, sure. Let's just imagine that on those extra worksheets like B and C, Sarah doesn't claim any additional allowances. We'll keep it simple with just that one basic allowance. So that way our scenario stays nice and straightforward.
Okay, so now you were talking about like hours and hourly wage or something. What day did she work these hours?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just imagine that Sarah worked a standard Monday to Friday week, maybe 8 hours each day. We can say she did her 40 hours across those weekdays, and that should give us a nice clean picture for calculating her paycheck.
All right, I won't fight you on dates because that's not fair. So I'll put the dates in here. Now I would say okay. So she worked a bunch of. So how many hours does she have in this week? Paycheck we're coming up with 40.
Yeah, exactly. We'll say she's got a nice round 40 hours for the week, just a standard full time set of hours. So, with that and the hourly rate, we can easily figure out her gross pay and then walk through the rest.
Okay, what hourly rate you want to give her?
Let's give her a nice round number. How about we say Sarah earns $25 an hour? That'll make the math nice and straightforward, and we can just go from there.
Are we going to give her any bonus for the period or any garnishments from her paycheck or any reimbursements or any taxable fringe benefits or does she have any 401k, any of that stuff?
You got it. Let's keep it simple, but toss in a little something extra just for fun.
Wow.
We can say she gets maybe a small bonus of $100 this period just to add a little variety. We'll skip any garnishments or 401k deductions for this example so it doesn't get too complicated, and no taxable fringe benefits this time around. That way we can just focus on the core calculation.
Sure. This sounds a whole lot like some videos I made years ago, to be honest with you. I mean, but okay, we're going to keep going. Um, all right. So, what else do we need to get this paycheck?
Yeah, I can imagine it might be a bit of deja vu, but honestly, that's the fun part. You're basically revisiting something you know really well,
I'm not saying
which is
it's not fun. It's definitely fun. Don't get me wrong. All right. Something's not working on mine. I'm looking at my pay stub. I'm trying to figure out what this pay stub's going to be. Here we go. Okay. What do you have for the federal taxable gross amount on this paycheck?
absolutely. Let's work that out. So if we're giving Sarah $25 an hour and she's working 40 hours a week, That's a base of $1,000 in gross pay. And then we said we toss in a $100 bonus. So that brings your total federal taxable gross up to 1,100. So that's the number we'd start from before we take out taxes and all that good stuff.
What is the federal tax? What is the employee FICA tax? What is the employee Medicare tax? What is the state California tax? And what is the state disability insurance tax going to be?
Absolutely. Let's break those down. Now, just as a heads up, these are going to be ballpark estimates since exact tax rates can vary a bit, but we can definitely get a good approximation. So, for federal income tax on $1,100 gross, she might see roughly around 12% withheld, which would be about $132.
Now,
For FICA, which is
now you're wrong as hell. No, okay, that you're there, you're wrong. You need to use a complicated formula to figure this out, and you probably can't do that.
oh, I totally get where you're coming from. These things do get pretty nuanced, and the actual tax calculation can definitely be a lot more complicated with all the different
Yes, yes,
brackets
you're
and
telling
formulas.
me that I'm still smarter than you in some areas, is what you're telling me right now.
Absolutely. You've definitely,
Stop agreeing with me. But
yep,
yes,
yep.
that is the case. So what we did learn is that no, GPT-4 cannot properly calculate your federal tax. It's going to use some rough estimates and some language and not do what this file does, which is actually run through everything you need and do all the subsequent formulas for all states. So I do feel like I can actually, I'm done with you, AI. I do feel like I can stop this video now that we got to a part where we broke AI because that's all I do. I break AI. I break everything. And so this is still better than AI, and that's good to know. Now, it will not always be this way, and probably actually doesn't even have to be this way even right now. I'm sure that there are higher levels of trained GPTs and models that are adequate at understanding the complexity of this and then feeding it into a model that we have a discussion with, and then it will be able to know more and get more right and actually understand the fundamentals of all the formulas that I created here along the way to get to the correct answers all the time. As of right now, I've just been updating I screwed my head up. As of right now, I've just been updating these formulas each year or whenever new publications come out from the states to do this or the federal government. That's a different piecemeal way of doing it than AI will be able to do it going forward. I will continue to work with that, but it's interesting to know that the file is still better than AI right now, and that's cool. So if you want to purchase a copy, I'm selling the 50 state version for $100, and anything you want to do with it, I expect to be able to kind of chaperone the file using AI to get you to do whatever you want it to do. And when I say whatever you want it to do, I'm trying to get my face bigger again. If I say whatever you want it to do, I mean like, wow, like yeah, whatever you want it to do. Like AI is unbelievable. And when I say digitally, of course, like I'm not going to be able to make it fly you to Mars yet, but I will be able to make you make a video about flying to Mars with it. You know, like that's the thing is everything's digital if you request it. And representing numbers here is essentially digital, even though it is, of course, a physical sort of transfer of money and funds in that sense, but also a digital one in that sense too. So basically what I'm saying is that something like payroll 1000% is going to be automated in a system and you won't have to do anything. But right now, you still need my file for some reason, and you can use it as the basis for building your own going forward. And then you will never need my file again because once AI digests all of it, it will just become the default for how people do stuff because it's awesome. Like if it gets it right all the time, then why wouldn't it become the default? That's kind of the fun thing about AI. And that's why I've been building all these applications for so long so that something like this could happen and then it could become a database for everybody to use. So this is awesome. And even though AI doesn't fully work yet, I will show you how it does. And I hope it, we didn't get enough done. I didn't show you all the reporting and all that stuff because I'm actually going to expand upon this. And instead of using this framework, we're going to have it fully like reach out and post stuff places for you and generate things for you because a simple macro that was kind of more difficult to build in the past is not even what is needed anymore. You can have this talk to other applications and have stuff just pull for you automatically. And I think I'm going to work with that for people who ask me to do that because I expect it to actually be easy. Um, yeah. Welcome to the future where if you can dream it, it happens. You just tell AI to do it for you. So we're getting there. So if you want to copy my payroll file, good, whatever, follow the link, contact me. I think I'm trying to set up $100 link on the website. I'm still working on the payment stuff, but you can just contact me or whatever. And this is one of many things I'm doing, but I wanted to kind of get it out there as like, what is the status of things is the file's still better than AI, but AI makes it better to do whatever we want to, but AI is still not better than it as far as I can tell. It still can't totally, as you can tell by asking it a federal tax question, even giving it simulated data, it does not do what it's supposed to do. It guesses, which is why the large language models are so complicated in whether or not they do math right, because so much of it is probability guessing as opposed to what we would consider to be hard, concrete algebraic calculation and linear. It's different. It's fascinating. So anyway, if you want to copy the payroll file, you've got your start for your own AI future for your small business, and you will never need to buy it from me again. You'll be able to have AI do the rest of it going forward, in my opinion. So, $100 and you're good for life. That's what I always wanted to do to people, but then you don't have to come back to me every year. But if you did, I would just tell AI, I already have an annual version for you. I'll just tell AI to make the updates you want. Well, you could do that. You don't need me for that. So it should be cool. All right. Good luck, everyone. Payroll should be easy. Now with AI, we are really, really making it so.